I have survived over 1,000 days in this hardcore world and built some insane projects along the way, all of which were sourced from this super OP, efficient, automatic all-item storage system. Okay, so maybe that's not entirely true, but yeah, I've been grinding hardcore Minecraft all while having this terrible chest room, so today I'll be fixing that. Finally, and building the automatic storage system I've always wanted and definitely always needed. All right, you lot, the time has finally come. I say it every single time that I'm going to sort this mess out, and I never do. But today that all changes as I'll finally be building my dream, super organized automatic storage system. So how and where exactly do I plan to do this? Well, in the very first episode of this series, I built an insane world center right here at 0, 0. It looks sick and I'm super proud of it. The problem is, since then, I've never even seen it. We currently have no real reason to come down here and take a look at this beauty, so I think it's only right that we build the storage system down here. And it kind of works out perfectly. I think what I'll do is carve out each side of the circle here so that we have 4 corridors to walk down full of chests. And this central area that we're currently standing in can kind of be our chill area for crafting and holding ender chests and stuff like that. Since last episode, we literally got a stack of beacons. And if you want to check out how we did that, I'll link the video in the description. I think the first step here is just to dig a bunch of blocks in Minecraft. So yeah, who would have thought? Actually, what I'm going to do before that is quickly switch this beacon into haste. And then once I become out of range of this beacon, I'll build new beacons in each 4 of the corridors so that we eternally have haste for the rest of our lives. All right, let's begin. We're in for a long ride here. All right, guys, so I've dug out maybe about 25 blocks long here, and obviously just as high as the roof goes. What I think I'm going to do now is actually dig out the same amount of blocks on all 4 sides, just so I can roughly get an idea of how many chests I'm going to need, and then extend the length of them once I figure out if I need more chests or not. Just because I'd rather all sides be completely even, and I don't know about you guys, but I'd prefer to not dig out a bunch more blocks than I actually need to. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for now. I'm going to head over to this wall here and start digging this out, and yet again, I'll see you guys at the end of the montage. I love how all these other Minecrafters are like calculating exactly how many chests they need, like how many blocks they need to dig, and I just dig and hope for the best, man. I'm actually so bad at this game. Anyways, wouldn't be a Shinjiru video if I didn't absolutely completely freeball it and probably mess something up in the process. Oh my days, you are joking right now. Trying to end my hardcore series early. Get out of here. All right, the 3rd section is done. Let's move on to the 4th and final section. All right, probably after like 30 seconds for you guys and like an hour for me, we've dug out all 4 sides. So the next thing I want to do is probably start bringing in the chests and kind of laying out how I actually want this storage system to look. So I'm thinking if we have the end of the chest sticking out just 1 block here, that'd mean we have 7 blocks of walkway between each chest, which I think is enough space for my liking. But that of course means we're going to need to carve out 1 block on either side of these walls here, not to mention the insane amount of blocks we're going to have to clear behind the walls for the actual sorting. So it's looking like a lot of digging for me, but I'll tackle that problem when I get to it. And then I think I want 2 double chests of each item. So let's say, for example, this is going to be deep slate. I'll have 2 full double chests for deep slate, and then I'll extend out on a little platform here to another double chest with a completely different item. And that'll kind of go all the way across this hallway, and of course for all 4 sides. So I guess we can just start implementing that and then seeing how many more chests we're actually going to need. Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna need more than this to actually get started. So I think we need to take a quick visit to the tree farm and then we can get the chests in. Wait, I should probably get my bed. Oh my risking my life just to go get my bed. All right, let's see if we have enough. All right, I genuinely don't think this is even close to enough, but it's a start and I want to get started. So let's take this over to the build and see how many this can fill up. Remind me to build a better way to get down here as well. Okay, let's quickly give these guys a taste of their own medicine. Please never come back. Thank you. All right, let's give this a go. All right, that's one row of chests in. Let's copy it on the other side. All right, looking pretty good to me. All right, now let's go along with the platform here for the second row of chests. I'm going to go in with these spruce planks here, I think, just to kind of keep the theme of this scaffolding. I might change it in the future, but for now, I just want to see how these chests are going to get laid out. So apologies if it's a little boring. All right, the chests are in. I'm not really sure how to handle this kind of situation. I think it'll look okay once I replace the blocks in the back. It's just a little odd. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Look, I'm just going to trust the process and I think it'll look okay once I decorate the room. As for the shape itself, I think that's a good layout. Look, 2 double chests for each item, another 2 double chests for these items. And I kind of want to curve the roof here. So I don't think we're going to add any more chests up here. Maybe we could add another layer. But for now, I just want to get this pattern in all the way on the other 4 sides and then take it from there. All right. Second section done. Let's move on to the third one. All right, so I've actually decided to divide these sections into 8 chests each, just because I think I'm going to use a water system to carry the items, and obviously water travels 7 blocks, so I'll need a break here for some ice to go. So I think if we have compartments of 8 here, it should look pretty decent. That, of course, means we'll need to extend this out 2 more blocks, but I'm happy to do that really quickly. And yeah, once I extend the blocks out that way, I think I'm ready to start clearing out the blocks behind the chests for the actual sorting system, which is more mining for me. I'm so happy editing is a thing. Alrighty, so I've cleared out a little section behind this compartment here. I think it's 6 blocks long, which is exactly what I need. So what I'm going to do now is grab the hoppers and all the redstone for one section here of this sorting system, put it in place just so we can see that it works and how it works. And once we confirm that it actually works how it's supposed to, I'll clear out the rest of this space, then this space, then do that on all 4 sides. So I'm going to quickly take a visit to the iron farm and probably farm some more wood along the way because we're running low on chests. Oh, I did not mean to do that. I'm so sorry. Dang. I was trying to eat my carrot. I shot him accidentally. All right, here we are. All right, what are we looking like here? All right, pretty decent. Let's craft these up into blocks real quick. Alrighty, let's go get some more wood. Switch this on. And I'll see you guys in 100 years. Alrighty, I think that's going to be enough. What the hell? Okay, I guess we kind of have to be done because I broke the farm. So anyways, I'm not looking forward to fixing that. We got enough wood though, I think, at least for one section anyways. So I'm going to craft up my chests, make the hoppers, and then head back to the storage system. Why did I just craft a separate chest when I have so many here? I'm actually so dumb. All right, a full shulker box of 64 chests. Surely that's enough. Well, I guess we're going to find out. All right, I got to try and squeeze out as much of this quartz as I can from all my shulker boxes. There's a few pieces scattered in a couple of these, and I'll have to mine these up as well because we're going to need a crap ton of comparators for this build as well. All right, let's start crafting these components up. All right, let's get building. All right, after this row of hoppers is in, that's one storage compartment complete. And it actually looks like it's one stack of hoppers exactly, which is kind of ideal. It's just way easier for me to keep track of how many I need to craft up. But yeah, that's that whole section done. So once I put the filters in, this is going to work perfectly well. But yeah, overall, it wasn't too difficult to build. It's pretty compact. It's a little expensive, but I don't think we're short on any of these resources. So I think what I'll do is just get the rest of these compartments in and then start decorating the hallway so it actually looks somewhat decent. So yeah, I'm going to quickly speed through these compartments real quick. Alrighty guys, so I changed my mind. I am actually going to test that the filters work before I install the rest of them, just because I want to make sure that they actually are functional before I install a bunch more of the compartments and waste an insane amount of materials doing it. So if you're unfamiliar with how the filters work, I need a bunch of stackable items that are renamed. It can be renamed to anything at all. It just needs to be a bunch of an item that you wouldn't normally put into the system and is renamed in an anvil. So I was thinking, what's an item that we can get a crap ton of that we don't really need to sort? And I've landed on cooked cod. I don't know if you guys remember, but in an earlier episode, we built this insanely efficient guardian farm, which drops a crap ton of cooked cod, in which obviously I don't use because I have golden carrots as my food source. So I'm just going to collect up a shulker box of these and use these as my filter items. All right, looks good to me. Okie dokie, so what I need to do is grab some of this cod, chuck it into the anvil, and rename it something. I'll just rename it filter, so it makes sense, I guess. And then let's pick a few blocks here to filter. So I'll probably go with all the stony items first of all. So maybe just cobbled deep slate and regular deep slate for now. And if I head to the back here and I go to one of these hoppers, and if I take 5 of these filter items and then chuck the item that I want to sort in the leftmost slot, it should start ticking down and stop at a certain number, and will only filter the cobbled deep slate. And we can do the same for the one next to it, and 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 you get the idea. So 5, 5, 5, 5, and the deep slate. So now that the filters are set up, if I come over this way, and let's say I chuck regular deep slate into the cobbled deep slate hopper, it's obviously not going to go through, but if I chuck it into the deep slate hopper, it's obviously going to go in and it's going to start sorting. So imagine something is running all along this way, putting every single item along these hoppers. Eventually, it's going to go through and sort every single one of these blocks, and they should start filtering down and coming into these chests here. So I think this is working exactly how it should, which gives me confidence to work on the rest of them, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So I'll see you guys when I get all the rest of these compartments in. Then we can start to think about how to make this place look a little nicer, because at the moment I kind of feel like I'm a troll living in the dungeons, which is kind of not the vibe I'm going for. See you guys in 10 seconds, aka 3 hours for me. Okay, that is the last hopper of this single side. So now we have to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 more times. Oh my god, what am I doing to myself? And even once those sorting things are in, we're not even close to done. We still need to design the whole room and put the filters in and sort actually all of our items and run the thing that goes around and spreads out all the... Okay. Enough complaining, let's just do it. All right, guys, my bones are frail and it's been a couple years, but I think I've finally cleared out all the sections, and I've kind of been going out and clearing a section, then putting the filters in, and clearing a section, then putting the filters in. And I just cleared out this last section here, meaning all I need to do is put in 6 filters, and then the storage system is finally ready to be decorated. So I'm going to head behind these rows of chests here, put the filters in, and then this endless mining simulator will finally be done for me, and we can do a bit of refreshing building. Oh my god. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the final row of hoppers of this entire storage system. I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. I've done this across the span of a few real life days, not because it's particularly difficult to do. I just have lacked the motivation to do it. I mean, if you guys had to place 1,000 hoppers, I'm sure you'd feel the same. Anyways, enough negativity. The good thing is that they're finally in, which means we can decorate this place. And I guess the first thing we should tackle is probably the floor, which means I'm gonna need to dig more blocks. Thought I was done with this whole digging thing. Okie dokie, thankfully that was quicker than clearing out the entire room. Now it's time to think about the floor design. All right, so I kind of want the middle section to sort of dip into like a little depression in the ground. And the way I'm going to do that is by implementing sort of like a ring of stairs around the middle. So if I go like that and then connect these stairs all the way along to the end, this 3 by however many long section will kind of be down into the ground a bit. And I feel like this pattern will kind of make it feel like there's more of an intentional walkway as opposed to just kind of like a weird corridor. Then I think it only makes sense if we continue this smooth stone trim along this way, which obviously means I'm going to need to smelt up some more smooth stone. And then for this middle section here, I think maybe smooth stone along the edges here. And then in the middle blocks, we can put various utility blocks like crafting tables, anvils, stone cutters, etc. So I can do some work down here without having to travel all across my world. All right, well, with that being said and the idea clear, I'm going to go smelt up some smooth stone so I can actually start implementing this. Alrighty, I'm going to smelt these up real quick, and I'll see you guys once it's done. Alright, I believe all of it is smelted up. Yep, looks good to me. This is empty. Sweet. Alright, let's head back to the build site. All right, that's looking pretty decent to me. All right, before I actually do the middle section, I kind of want to work out this roof and scaffolding first. So I guess I'll quickly go visit the wood farm, fix it, and grab some materials. All right, I fixed the tree farm, so back at it again with the most entertaining gameplay of all time. Alrighty, I think that's going to be enough for now. Let's head back to the storage system and start decorating. All right, so I'm obviously going to go in with the same sort of spruce pillars in this section here. And then I think it makes sense to go out with a stair there to align with the rest of these chests. And then I reckon we just go all the way to the roof. And as I kind of mentioned earlier on in the video, I want it to sort of curve to be sort of a rounded roof. So I'm going to go with trapdoors in the middle section here, extend out to slabs, and then extend out to stairs sort of this way. And if we get a solid plank in there, it shouldn't look too strange from the front. Yeah, sort of like that on both sides. And then all the way down this corridor, I think will look pretty decent. I mean, there's only one way to find out, which is to build it. So I'm going to speed through this. Alright guys, I kind of went into flow state there, didn't really record much or explain much, but basically I went in with shelves and then trapdoors along the side there to sort of create that curved shape. And then I just went in with this same spruce sort of pillaring on the roof, and then obviously the stone that occurs throughout this entire place. It's kind of impossible to hide these hoppers and the redstone behind. I think I did as good of a job as I possibly could have, but overall I'm happy with the simplistic design. I think anything too complex and too busy will make it look a little overcrowded, which means the next step for me key is obviously implementing the floor properly, replacing little details like the blocks underneath these chests and the back wall there. But once we've implemented those things and we're happy with how it looks, the only thing left to do for this storage system is to repeat it on all sides and then actually implement the filtering system. So I'm going to get started implementing this floor to begin with. All right, guys, so I went into a creative world just to mess around with the floor and see what I liked and see what I didn't. And I honestly ended up just slapping a bunch of red carpets down in the middle section here, and I kind of liked it. Again, honestly, I just feel like the more simple options are the ones that I like the most these days. So what I'm going to do is slap these red carpets in here and let me know down in the comments if you guys agree that it looks decent, because I actually don't think it's that bad. What do you guys think? I just feel like it gives it more of a royal grand kind of vibe and kind of like a nostalgic Minecraft feel. I don't know. I really like it. I'm going to keep this design. All right. Happy with the floor here. So I'm going to move on to the back wall. I think it makes sense just to replicate the walls of the entire spawn area. I mean, I can't really think of anything else that makes sense. So I'm going to put this in, and if it looks really dumb, I'll change it, but I think it'll look okay. Yeah, honestly, dude, that just makes sense to me. I can't really see it any other way, so yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, well, considering that the back wall is in place, the only thing that this corridor is missing, in my opinion, is some super grand lighting to match the super grand flooring of this area. So I'm going to work on designing some super grand chandeliers that I can implement across this area. And once I'm happy with them and they're in place, we can just duplicate this section across these 3 other parts. And then we can finally start transferring our disgusting chest monster over to this beautiful system. Alrighty, guys, I spent a little bit of time gathering some materials for this chandelier and got stung by a bee in the process. Ouch. Ouch. But aside from that little hiccup, the materials list isn't anything too insane, just a bunch of candles, some white glass, and some frog lights. So I'm going to go ahead and put one of these in so you guys can see how it looks, and then duplicate it one more time in this corridor. And if we like how it looks, we can replicate it on all 3 other sides. All right, that is all done. So I'm going to place another one of these in line with this pillar here. And then I'm very glad to say that I think one of these rooms is complete. All right, all done. And you know what? I actually really like that. I'm super happy with how this looks. And more than anything, I'm just happy to get these done on all the rest of the sides here so that we actually have somewhat of a finished product. So yeah, I mean, let's not waste any more time. Let's go replicate that exact room on all 3 of these other sides. And I think our storage system is ready to be used. Oh my days. All right, I think this is the last thing we need to do, guys. That single end rod there marks the last block of the chandelier, meaning I think every single corridor is done. Wait a sec. No way, dude. Oh my God, it's wrong. This single, it's too low. Oh my, oh man, I just got done. I just got done building. I think after these end rods go in on the corners here and at the bottom, then we'll actually be done. Okay, I think we're done now. Unless I made some other stupid mistake somewhere else. I think we're sweet. I think we're finally sweet. Yeah, looks good to me. Dang, I like this. This looks really cool. So now that our storage system is super beautiful and aesthetic, it's time to make it functional. That of course means building a hopper system that actually transports all the items across the filters and setting up the filters themselves. So what I'm thinking to do is to have one double chest on the left side here where all of our items are going to go into, and then another double chest on the right hand side for all of our overflow items. Overflow items being items that we have too many of, or items that we simply don't have a filter set up for. But yeah, this part shouldn't be too complicated at all. It's just going to be really expensive, so I'm going to need a few more hoppers on my side. But guys, I mean, after we've done this distribution system, the only thing we need to do is actually set up the filters and decide where each item is going to go. Anyways, as I mentioned, I'm going to go get more hoppers and then get straight to work on this. Okie dokie, so I'm in the back rooms right now. Basically what I need to do is run a line of hoppers across the entire system. Then I need to double back on myself and place the same amount of hoppers a second time through. So I'll see you guys 1 billion trillion billion hoppers later. Oh my days. Ah. There's no way. There's no way. Am I that bad? Oh my god, am I that... No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not touching this game ever again. I'm done. Am I that actually bad? Wow, that was a roller coaster. And I need more hoppers. Sweet, time to go AFK the iron farm for a little bit. Okay then, hopefully this is enough. I guess we'll find out. Oh my days. Wow. Oh my. That took a lot more hoppers than I expected. All right, now that we've essentially completed the circuit of hoppers here that distribute the items along the entire sorting system, now what we need to do is build the bubble column that's actually going to take the items up. And then all we need to do is link up all of the chests to that bubble column and we should be good to go. So I'm going to grab the materials for this bubble column super quickly so we can get started on this ASAP. All right, so this is more or less what we need for the bubble column. I think this little segment is fine, and then we'll connect it to those hoppers over there. So I guess let's just build it. Oh my god, all of my redstone just went. Damn it. Can I get... What am I doing? All right, I think we did it after a few hiccups. I'm pretty sure this works. So if I add some items to this, it's going to start spurting them all out and they'll all flow up and then into these hoppers here and then across the filtering system, which means the only thing left that we have to do is create our filters and then move all of our items. And this absolute nightmare of a project is finished for me. All right, well, first of all, I'm going to need to grab my filter items and I'm probably going to need a decent amount more of these. And then we need to actually decide what is going where. So obviously we have deep slate and cobble deep slate here. So I'm going to keep the sort of stone item theme along this wall, I reckon. And maybe just all the natural blocks. So dirt, sand, gravel, etc. And then probably woods and other overworld items on this side. And then I guess we could decide what we want to put in these other 3 corridors when we get to them. So let's start getting these filters in. Okay guys, so I spent a little bit of time putting a few filters in. I actually haven't installed the filters for a majority of these chests just because I'm not entirely set on the layout that I want to use, and explaining my thought process for a bunch of filters isn't that interesting. I thought what I'd do is just add the filters when I encounter a block that I actually need to sort, and in the meantime just move all of our items from our original base down here since our distribution system and the bubble column is fully functional now. As you can see, if I place some items into this chest, they're going to run through the hoppers underneath and then all the way to this bubble column, which is then going to take the items through the filtering system and all across these chests. So if an item doesn't have a filter set, it's just going to come into the first chest that has space. So in this case, it's going to be the one next to this redstone part. So yeah, I'm going to keep setting up these filters throughout the week. But for now, I think it's really important that we just move our items down here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. All right, the last chest. And with those last few items there, we are officially unloaded and transported to the new storage system. I know it's not fully complete and functional just yet, but guys, honestly, I'm just happy to be out of that crap space. And I'm happy to develop the sorting system as I go throughout this world. But yeah, guys, honestly, I think having this new and improved storage room is definitely going to help us organize future builds. And I'm really happy with how it looks too. I think it fits the vibe of the original room quite well, and it adds this grand extension that I quite like as well. And yeah, anyways, now that this section is empty, let me know what you guys think I should put here to replace the old chest room. And aside from that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.